have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I was diagnosed with CF at 4 months old, so I've practically lived with it for the whole of my life. So it's just really natural to me. Everything that I do daily just comes as normal. It's not it's not like I had to wake up one day and I had cystic fibrosis. It's something that I was born with, and I think in that sense, I wouldn't say easy, but because I'm so used to it, it's become normal to me. As a child, I didn't think I was any different to any other child. I was a very positive individual and always find the positive in everything. I think that's really important. I think a lot of the times when I did used to become unwell, I used to think to myself, oh, why me? And question why I had CF. But I think having it has given me a different view on life. I have to be admitted into the hospital, and as boring and as horrible as it can be, I think it's really important to have my friends and family there, because they make me feel just that little better, and that means a lot to me. I love to sing. That's probably one of my only hobbies, is that I love singing, and I feel that through my singing I can sort of express myself. And I think sometimes when I am feeling low or probably a bit down in the dumps, I can just go into my room, shut the door, and just sing anything. How to be brave, how can I love when I'm afraid to? Also, with singing, it's a form of exercise for my lungs. So in a way, it's something that I love to do. It makes me feel better, and it's helping me. So back in 2009, I had a lobectomy in my right lung, which was basically they removed a small part of my upper right lung because it just completely stopped functioning. I think the doctors could see that there was something wrong, that there was something there that wasn't right. So after having a couple of visits to the Birmingham Children's Hospital, by viewing my results, they realised that there was actually a small part of my right lung that wasn't functioning whatsoever. So rather than to leave the damaged part of my lung inside me, they recommended that it was best that it was taken out, just to avoid it from any bacteria growing in that certain area, and for the rest of my lung becoming worse. Having to have an operation so big was quite nerve-wracking, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how long the recovery would take, or how I'd feel after it, or whether my lungs would feel the same. So I had all these thoughts running through my mind. I don't think my cystic fibrosis has affected me. What I want to do in the future, my aspirations and ambitions, are just the same as they always have been. I'm positive that my future will be successful, and with all of the development in treatment and medications, hopefully one day there will be a cure, and I'm very positive about that. And I know that if I can keep myself positive and motivated, that I can have a happy life. There's nothing stopping me. My biggest support, my mum, the strongest lady I know. Sometimes I do find it hard to believe how she has dealt with me and my cystic fibrosis.
When we first heard about it, we didn't have a clue what CF is. So kind of just wanted to know. As soon as we were getting the information, it was really, really devastating. We were so upset even to take things in. We just thought there is something wrong, which is not right. It's hard to explain when you see your child ill and with something which has got no cure. You just can't predict really what's going to happen. Aamna was very ill first 6 months of her life, and we just thought that she's gone. But luckily Aamna was a fighter, so she pulled through. We thought that it will be very hard and difficult, as we were told by the doctors. When they discharged Aamna, they planned everything like to go with oxygen cylinder, and she will be always in need of oxygen, and we just kind of thought we have to cope with it. As a child, she was very brave. She was always smiling, no matter how difficult her breathing was or how much she was coughing, but she was smiling. We are all here to support her, whatever we can do, and hopefully the time will bring something new which will change Aamna's medications, and we might find a cure. We are very hopeful we will find a cure.
If it wasn't for the doctors, nurses and researchers, treatment for cystic fibrosis wouldn't be as successful as it has become today.
Cystic fibrosis is a genetic condition that patients will have inherited from mum and dad. It's what's known as a recessive gene. It's a disease that affects the cell membranes in the lungs. It affects the movement of chloride ions, so it means you produce a really thick, sticky mucus in the lungs. So if you consider the worst cold you've ever had in your life and you multiply that by about 10, if not 100, they get really thick, sticky mucus, and it accumulates in the upper respiratory tract. And it can even travel to the digestive system and the reproductive system in some cases. So they'll have persistent chest infections, they'll find it difficult to gain weight, and they'll have a persistent cough. There's no cure for cystic fibrosis, but there are different treatments to improve quality of life. I mean, there's about 9,000 people in the UK suffering from cystic fibrosis at the moment, and with improvements and advance in medical technology, the life expectancy is much greater now than it was. The average is about 50 years of age now with cystic fibrosis.
Never did I ever imagine to move out of home so soon, until summer 2014, when I made the decision to study at Coventry University. I'm a first year dietetic student at Coventry University. I'm studying dietetics, which is the role of a dietitian in a hospital. And I think I was influenced a lot by my own dietitian that I have at hospital. So I'd say that she influenced me a lot to do what I'm doing now. Our timetable is usually a 9 till 5, so it's quite hectic and it's quite busy and it's quite full. Obviously with my condition I have to push myself as much as I can, because I can expect to have good days and bad days. So, and those days I don't know when I'll have a good day or when I'll have a bad day. So because I'm about a 5-10 minute walk away from uni, sometimes it's difficult if I wake up one morning and I'm not feeling well. It's hard to sort of get up, do all my treatment before I leave, walk to uni, because by the time, sometimes if I'm not feeling well, by the time I reach uni, I'm already really shattered. Since I moved to university, it didn't hit me until I moved that I'm actually on my own, because for the first time I've been this far from home, alone, and sort of having to do things myself. So cooking myself and doing my treatment myself and everything sort of CF related, whereas when I'm at home I'm always being like prompted and probed by my parents. Have you done this? Have you done that? You need to do this, you need to do that. I think since I've come here it's kind of, in a way it's sort of a growing process and I'm learning to do things myself. I'm glad that I've made this step.